I have to just say, though, Pete Buttigieg is remarkable for this reason. He went to Iowa. He took advantage of the fact that many of his opponents were stuck in Washington, sitting as jurors in the impeachment trial. And he put what is his training, whether it's military, whether it's his time in the private sector, to use organizing and coming out with a victory. I mean, Pete Buttigieg won the Iowa caucuses. He approaches the debates in a similar way. Everyone comes in with a strategy. I had the privilege of preparing a former president and a former senator for debates. Neither one of them have gone down in the Great Debaters Hall of Fame. So I know how hard it is. And so this is not a diss on anybody else. But Pete Buttigieg had a singular ability to converse. He didn't just go after Amy Klobuchar. I thought Pete Buttigieg was to Amy Klobuchar what Elizabeth Warren was to Mike Bloomberg. I thought he decimated her on her own record in terms of substance. Now, she's very likable. As Claire said, she'll be fine. She'll live to fight another day. She has a lot of appeal. But in terms of just evaluating these candidates, in terms of what the task was tonight, he had a strategy, he executed his strategy, and he does very well. He seems to gain the most ground where he can sort of be the person with the discipline and the wherewithal to execute his own strategy. I think he is the most disciplined candidate.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.